Hey guys, what's going on? It's Larry, Pak Masters Dog Training here. I wanted to make this video. I've been wanting to do this for a while. One of the things that I've been wanting to change with my programs for a long time is trying to cut down on the time that I have to take with clients going over the function and the mechanics of the e-collar. So for instance, when I have a board and train here, that day where the client picks up the dog, it's exhausting because you have to spend a lot of time with the client and you got to teach. I teach a lot. But first, before we do anything, I have to go over the functions of the e-collar, and that takes a lot of time because I want them to really understand it. And same thing if I'm doing private sessions. That first session takes a long time, and a lot of that time is taken up by going over the mechanics of the e-collar. Now, I know there's plenty of videos out there on how to operate the e-collars and everything, but I'm making this to send to all my clients. So every time I get a new client, before they show up to pick up a board and train, or before I do that first private session, I'm going to have them look at this the week before and go over it so they understand this, and we're going to save probably a good 20 minutes to a half hour in that first time we meet. All right, so I'm just going to show you how I set up my e-collar. You guys could do it however you like, but I'll explain to you why too if I need to. So here are the collars I use. I use the Mini Educators from e-collar Technologies. I've been using these collars for a while now, and I'm very, very happy with them. No, I am not sponsored by the company. I don't make any money from the company. I truly love these e-collars, okay? So this is the e-collar that I'm going to go over because this is the e-collar I use on every single dog. And I'm going to try to talk just like I do when I have a client and just showing them how the e-collar operates, all right? So let's get started. We got the remote, the part you're going to hold in your hand. Here is the receiver, the part that goes on the dog's neck, okay? To turn on the receiver, you see that little red dot right there? You take that red dot and the red dot on the remote. You connect them together and it comes on. You see it's blinking? Now it's on. You take that red dot again, you connect it to the receiver, it turns red, it is now off. That's how you turn it on and off. Connect the red dots, it's on. Connect the red dots, it's off. That's how you turn on the receiver, all right? To turn on the remote itself, on the back, you're going to see a button with an L on it here in the middle. It also says on, off, light, says a few things on it. If you take that big button in the back and you hold it in, you got to hold it in for a second, the e-collar comes on, all right? Here's how you go through all the levels. The e-collar is on. To turn it off, same thing. You hold this button in and you see it turn off, okay? Hold it in, it comes on. Now your remote is on. You have both parts on, all right? We have our two contact points here. Right now we have medium length contact points. This is for Halo or German Shepherd, so they're a little longer than normal. To charge your receiver and your remote, you look right here, you got this little flip up rubber piece, all right? That's where the charger goes in. On the handheld part, right here in the back, that's where you charge the e-collar. Now, the charger has a splitter on it, so you could charge both the receiver and the remote at the same time. What I tell people is treat it like your cell phone. Every night when you're done, turn the collar off, turn the remote off, and put it on the charger. These collars charge really fast, but you can't go wrong by putting it on the charger at night, all right? Let's go over the functions of the remote here. This button on the top, this is where you change your levels, all right? So you look at that, we're on 0 right now. It goes up to 100 by turning. It's very smooth and not too easy to where it's going to move around a lot. Okay, 0 to 100. And it's digital. You can see it at night. All right. That's how that functions right there. Now, let's say it's on a, let's put it down to, it's on a 12. If we want to keep it on a 12 and we don't want that to move when we're doing things or it's in our pocket, you could take this button that turns the levels, you press it down and it locks that number in. Okay, see now when it moves, it's not moving. To unlock it, you press it and hold it down again, and then you can move it again. Okay, so that's very convenient. Let's go over some of the buttons on the remote here. You have a black button, it's got an S on it. You have a red button, it's got an S on it. The way I set up my e-collars, all right, this is the button we're normally using, this top black button here. All right, let's turn on the remote so you can see it here. Turn on the receiver. So when we hit this black button on top, you see the receiver, it's making a connection, okay? That's the button we're normally using. I keep my remote set on continuous, all right? What I mean by that, we have this little button here. See that? That's where you're gonna set the function. Momentary, it'll say M. Momentary means a nick, a very quick sensation. So basically, if we set it on momentary, you see how it says an M there now? That's momentary. That means if I press that black button, even if I hold it down, you see how fast it doesn't stay pressed. So you could hold it down, but the stimulation is just like a fraction of a second. It's very, very fast. I don't really use that function very much because it's so fast, a lot of the dogs kind of just don't even seem to feel it. Now, every now and then you'll get a dog that responds better to it. That's when you adjust, okay? So we change that with this little button on the back. It's on an M. If I press it again, now you see it's on a C for continuous, okay? That's where I keep my e-collar set. So, same button we're using here. Now if I hold it in, you see the red's going. And I'm going to keep it down, and it keeps sending stimulation to the receiver. And if you hold that button down, it'll keep on going for 10 seconds. And then it has a little safety feature where after 10 seconds, it turns off. But the way I use the continuous button quite often, and after the dog is conditioned, most of the time, is by a tap. So see, instead of using the momentary, I keep it on continuous, but I use it as you would the momentary, just with a tap, all right? That's button there. Now you can also, if I press it again, you'll see it's on an M and on a C. Now you have the remote set up on a momentary and a continuous. So if you hit the top button here, it's set on momentary, right? If you hit the bottom button, it's set on continuous. I don't keep it like that, like I said, because I don't really like using the momentary. I keep it on continuous. So when you keep it on continuous, this red button down here, this is what we call a boost button. I refer to it as an emergency button. I like that it's red. This is a very nice feature on these e-collars, okay? So basically what this means, I have it set on continuous now. This boost button, or this red button, is also set on continuous, but what you can do is you can program that red button to be set higher than your regular levels using the continuous button, or if you use the momentary, I guess. So what I do in the beginning, when we first start working with a client, I keep it on its default default setting, which is 5 higher than what you have it set on. So what I'm saying here, see how that remote's on a number 3 right now? If I hit that boost button, it's on an 8, okay? It's set for 5 higher. I won't raise that in the beginning because people make mistakes. And in case they hit that button, I don't want it to be too much for the dog. And 5 levels higher isn't going to make much difference on a dog, so I keep it there. Now, once the dog is trained, fully trained to the e-collar, now you can set that button at a much higher level. So let's say if your dog's working level around the house, no distractions, is a 6. When you go out in public or for a walk, a 6 is not going to be that effective when you're out and about and your dog's off leash. So you're going to have your continuous button set a little higher. It could be on a 12, it could be on a 15, it could be on a 20. It doesn't matter. The number isn't relevant. All that matters is that it's the right setting for your dog. So let's say if you go out and it's set on a 15, you could take this boost button, this red button, and you could set it for, say, 30 higher, which is a lot higher, right? That's your emergency button. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of trainers like to keep it set on momentary and continuous, and that's fine. And what I've heard people say is if their client runs into a situation where they need it, they want their clients to be able to search for the right levels. I'm completely opposite. I don't want that. That emergency button there is there for a reason. It's for that what if moment. It's for an emergency. So let's say you're out and you're in a big open area and your dog takes off after a rabbit. I don't want my clients sitting there searching for the correct levels. I want you to be able to stop that behavior. I want you to be able to stop that dog from taking off immediately. And timing is everything with dog training. Okay, you want to be able to correct that behavior in a timely fashion. Not when he's 50 yards away, 100 yards away, because you're searching for levels. I don't like it. Again, this is just how I do it, guys. So my e-collars stay on continuous, okay? Let's see what else we got here. So now, when we set these up, when we put the e-collar on the dog, I prefer to have the light always facing on the outside so you can see if it's on, you can see if it's blinking, all right? When we put it on the dog's neck, I like to keep it kind of high on the neck, usually off to one side. Most dogs, especially dogs with thick fur or thick skin, seem to respond and have much better luck making good contact set high up right under the ear. All right. One other feature I forgot to mention, guys, that on-off button there that turns it on and off. This is something I love about the e-collar technologies collars. I love this because my dogs are off leash at night when we go out all the time. So if you hit that on-off button, but you don't hold it down, you just hit it once, you got that blinking light to where you can see your dog out in the dark. It's a fabulous feature. If I hit it again, now it stays on. Okay, really nice. So no matter how dark it is, you can see where your dog is. You hit it one more time, it turns off. One of my favorite features about this e-collar. I like it a great deal. So again, I'm doing this just to give the basic mechanics of how to turn the e-collar on, how we use it, how we set it up, because it's going to save me a lot of time with clients. I'll be able to send this and I won't have to go over all the mechanics. Even though there's a manual that comes with the e-collar and I tell people that, I still have to show them how to set it up before we start to use it. I don't think there's anything I forgot to mention here. These collars are waterproof too, guys, so you could wash them off, your dog can go in the water with them, you could swim, but the most important thing is I just want you to be set up there so you understand how to set the e-collar up yourself before you get here and we start training. Okay, it's going to send us it's going to save us a lot of time. You know, these collars also come with a lanyard that you can connect here. I don't use them often. It kind of drives me crazy when I see people wearing them like a Flavor Flav necklace. I don't like it around my neck. Okay, I don't like it around my neck. If I'm out with the dog out and about, if it's a client dog or a dog that I may need to really keep an eye on, it's going to be in my hand, because again, timing is so important, guys. You have to be able to react with great timing if you want to make a big change in your dogs. All right, so I think I covered everything here that I go over with the clients. I can't think of any features. One last feature, the feature that I don't use. Again, this single button here on the side, this T button, stands for tone. You see that? Sliding up, I'm pressing it, holding it in. Okay, it's a vibrate button, a tone button. It vibrates. I don't use it. I don't like it. For me, it doesn't serve a purpose. I tell clients not to use it. Don't go confusing the dog, because a lot of dogs will get freaked out by it. Now, they do make collars now that are vibrate collars only, that are very adjustable like these. Some people love them. If you do, hey, more power to you, that's fine. But you know, I prefer the regular e-collars, so I don't use this vibrate button. That's what this is. I tell people not to use it. So again, here, this is the button we're almost always using. Okay, that top button with the S on it. All right, you see that? This bottom button is the emergency button, that button for what if. Okay, I think that about covers everything, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up. I hope this helps all my clients. I hope we save a lot of time when we get here for that first lesson. All right, peace.